Greetings, Assalamu alaikum. Tell you in a moment what it means. Welcome to Salaam, the Masterclass, resumed transmission because we got interrupted um, a minute ago while I was in the 15th minute of it. So I'm resuming. I apologize if you tuned in and then um, I went away. Things happen. I'm getting used to these live transmissions after a long time. Don't have much of a setup. And inshallah, which means God willing, going forward, I look forward to have a setup. I'm coming out of a 6 month long illness in which I was completely bedbound. In fact, matter of fact, I'm still on bed, but I have been enterprising enough to put a lovely painting at my back with the 99 names of God hand painted on it. And I'm actually also doing a masterclass called Blessed, Heal with the 99 Names of God, which I actually started doing as an offering that occurred to me because I would get really sick. And until about some weeks ago, it looks like it happened only days ago, but it's weeks ago in October. But I was like, this is it. I'm going from this world. And I was struggling to stay alive. I couldn't. But then I told myself, no, you are sick and sickness is discharging your body. It's not your soul going out, it is sickness going out, but you identify with the sickness because you somehow feel that the toxins in your body are you. You've gotten used to that biological makeup. But that's not you leaving, that's sickness leaving. Let it leave. Whatever will remain is actually you, but you gotta feed it. I started feeding myself and I said, don't look there. This is you, not that. It was very hard because that sickness had been in my body for a long time. Actually, fluids in my body that they were in me. I think part of my soul went out with them, and I was like, then I asked my soul to come back. Hopefully, potentially, it's gonna come back all of it. God forbid. So it was during the time that I was like, God, I'm just gonna die. Any idea how I can either just die quickly or stay alive? But I couldn't die because I have a little kid. And my kid was crying and very upset. And I said, kid, hold on. I've been through a lot in life, but I was single at the time. But now you're here. If I were single, if everything were taken care of in my life, I would actually like to go. I'm so fed up of this world. But and I've seen things like I'm done. I've seen good things as well, really miraculous things, and I've seen bad things. Bad things just don't seem to be ending in my life. They just seem to be exploding. I was like, what do I do? Now, something happened to me. The understanding that I reached was that God said to me, the God voice in my head, like the voice of reason or the one that supports me, the good voice said, well, you know what's happening in your world? Because your world is in your brain and in your psyche and in your experience. I mean, there's a world out there, but your psyche, your experience. So, in the totality of your experience, what's happening is that you don't have a control or mastery over the dark or bad things. And you need, I literally put that down on a board. Like it says, you need to increase the pluses, the good stuff, the mastery stuff, and reduce the negatives. A long time ago, my chiropractor had told me that. He said the negatives have like increased in your life. I said, tell me about it. And there are a lot of people who think she's very happy and content. They like to attack me. I've actually been told people are like, we think you're very happy. I said, no, I'm surviving. Like I'm literally sitting here thinking how to unalive myself. And you think I'm happy? If I started, and then I started talking about my stuff, and I've been going for like literally 15 years now. Yeah, I think 11 or 12 at least. And I said, if I start talking about what I've experienced, and given that I keep on experiencing more and more stuff, because there's so much to worry about in this world for a sensitive soul, particularly when the news are like, what on earth is going on, you know? You never run out of stuff to worry about. And then you realize maybe it's just a mindset. Maybe it's it's an attitude. So the voice of good and right within me told me that with your goodness, with your mastery, and with your skill, and with the particular talent that you, of all people, have, Ramala, of knowledge and being able to teach, should have been teaching a long time ago. If you had started teaching then, you would have had a lot of mastery. Your own brain's good side would have overcome the dark. You would have a lot of followers. You would have taught a lot of people a lot of things, and you would have changed things in the world. You would have a lot of people on your side. Your knowledge would have changed things and got projects going. There would be value added. And I actually did that, by the way. I did that. One of the other things that my doctor told me is like, if you haven't accounted for the good that you've done and you haven't seen the results, or you haven't been given the credit, so you don't know. And he said your brain has become overwhelmed with the deluge of the negative, the non-affirming, the harmful. So there's a whole lot of interesting neurology to it. And I have a whiteboard here, right here in the room. I'm not going to move in its direction. I've got some business things written on it right now, but I am going to show you what actually happens. Like there are two parts in our brain, and there are negative stories and the positive stories. And you've got to overwhelm the negative with the positive, heal the negative with the positive, and teach it and coach it, like overcome that and incrementally take yourself out of negative situations with your mastery, with your speaking, with your writing, and also with your acting in the world. So you start changing things. You could actually go to people and say things like, you will stop throwing litter in the street. Do you understand that? Like you can do that. What happens is that in a lot of spiritual programs or religious programs or self development programs, they teach you like one or two things only. And now that I think about it, if you look at the landscape, if I look at the coaching, um, healing uh, landscape, it's still not getting to the point. It's like, oh, this is what's wrong with you. Gotta do this, gotta do that. Masculine, feminine, this and that. Good. It's good that people are taking a journey, but it's like you really gotta do things. The Western world, particularly, is not a very embodied world. It's a very meh. Why do I change things? They don't change the collective because they've strengthened the idea of personal freedom and atomization so deeply and got invested in it so much that they're not able to get out of that hellhole, I was going to say, but hole, and move towards the collective. Because working and participating in the collective means giving up your hedonism, means cooperating and collaborating, and means stopping being selfish and narcissistic, and growing up and being an adult and actually taking responsibility for your life. Things that people who seek the self and seek to stay suspended in childhood, often out of their own accord, but they don't know it. Things that they don't agree to. Now, there are a lot of people who are suspended in victimhood and childhood, not because they personally want it, but because that's just the way the culture and things are. And if they were to try to move away from that, they would find a lot of resistance, will not find help, not psychological help, not medical help, nobody teaching them what to do. And for them to be able to find support in the system or the collective as a whole has got to agree to the fact that, yeah, this thing needs support. Like, for example, what if I were abused all my life and I turned 25 and I just don't know how to handle my finances or how to handle machines? Like, now we have YouTube accounts where the people are like, okay, there's dad teaching you how to fix things around the house. And there are a lot of millennials and people who have been abused all their lives who are even in their 40s, some are even in their 60s, and they're like, yeah, I could really use the help that this account is giving and learn how to fix things around the house. There are people who never had a father. Some had no parents. Some grew up on the streets, right? Something or somebody in the system. Once upon a time, we thought that would be government, but now they're individuals, enterprising individuals who step up and say, this problem needs to be solved. And then there are others who just go on keeping accusing, oh my God, nobody knows how to fix the pipes anymore. You are, I'm not going to work with you anymore if you don't know how to fix the pipe. That's good enough, Karen, but who is going to teach billions of people how to balance their books and pay all their debts and fix the pipes? There's got to be like a collective dimension to it. Once upon a time, only governments did it, and then NGOs, etc. And now the people, with the help of the internet, standing up and saying, well, you know what? I can teach like a million people how to make your own medicine. I can teach a million people how to fix pipes. And those people are like, they make the most mundane video and it gets like a million views or likes. People really want to get into the nitty gritty of things. There are things we've never been taught. Like literally never been taught. We went to school studying three sides of a triangle, but we're not taught how to make a pie or how to fix a leaky tap. We just stand there. Like, I don't know what to do. The house is flooding. I don't know what to do. The more I hammer it, it just blows up even more. So I wouldn't even touch it. So I'm one of those millions and billions of human beings who look at things and like, I just don't know what to do. I've damaged my own health, by the way. Like, I got damaged. I literally just don't know how to live. Actually shifted to Himalayas, right? So I don't know how to live in the Himalayas, and there is no education in the part of Himalayas where I live. If I guess, went to Nepal or India, there is a lot more education there. I'm in Pakistan, but if you ask how do you live here, they're like, get lost. They don't even know how to live here themselves. They don't have facilities. I was like, I had these weird romantic notions, and if they do know, they don't tell you. They're like little cults here, and they're like, we only share with our people. You are not our Muslim sect. Okay. You are the enemy. You are too much. You dudes, I just like I came here from the city. I don't mean any offense to anybody. No, you are not our sect. You are the enemy. You are a spy. Really? Well, that's cool. Somebody finally thinks I'm as hot as I wanted to be always, but it's funny that it's happening for real. I'm sorry, I tell a lot of stories in the middle of what I do. So I'm teaching this masterclass called Blessed. And the idea came to me some weeks ago when I was overwhelmed with my own sickness, like a huge spell of bile acid discharge from my body that has started in July and has been still going on. It's fantastic the amount of this acid and affluence that my body is creating and going on and on. And once upon a time, it was considered really unclassy to talk about your illness, but currently these days, so many humans of all classes and genders and social spectrums and geographies are ill that people go like, "Oh, this in the middle of meetings or work, like, I'm sorry, I'm sick. And our bodies are really struggling. We need to talk about these things. So I was really sick when the idea occurred to me to start a healing, a group healing with what Muslims called the names of God. Muslims have identified, I'm going to try and keep it short. Potentially, God can be called upon by any names. Like I can say, oh God, oh, the one who has made my iPhone or Android phone. And that's like calling upon God. God is always hearing by the God is very active. God is there. It's just you need to align with God, I say, right? It's like you setting up your dish antenna to receive from the satellite or whatever it is that they have these days, because a lot of things have come up which I haven't even checked with. Never even used dish antenna, right? So, in the Muslim tradition, we identify 99 standard names of God. Some traditions do like 101. And then the esoterics get into quite a lot more of them, I believe. But standard 99 names of God. And they're all written here, painting. It's a painting that I thankfully found some weeks ago when I was thinking of putting like a background to my talks. And I wanted to get like a, what is it called? A penaflex painted with literally like blessed 99 names of God written on it. When I saw somebody in real painting this and I got it at a really nice price. I couldn't believe it. I was like, this should be 5 times more at least. I interviewed that person. I told them that, but I was like, for practical reasons in my country, if you really went ahead and became generous and paid them that much, you could get in trouble. And I've been in trouble. So anyway, there are lots of sociologies and politics to it, but I got this at the price that they were offering it at, which was miraculously literally nothing. So I said, okay, let me receive for a moment from God. Because I took what was in front of me. Sometimes spiritually you do that. When you come to the social realm, descend from the spiritual to the social, you could actually say to the person, which I did, that you priced it really low. And I'm not going to give you an advice because I want to be honest with you. While I'm not going to pay you more at this time, my advice hopefully will help you. You should price it at like 4 times more at least. 5 times, six would be really good and right. And potentially it can be anything. It's art. So, Salaam, the masterclass, healing with Salaam. What is Salaam? Salam is a salam, one of the names of God, and it is also the greetings that Muslims use. Salam is like the short version of it. But Assalamu alaikum is like the standard version, and then it expands. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So there's salam. Salam, the name of the greeting itself is salam as well. Like, what did you offer? I said salam to him or her. Did you give them my salam? Did you give them my greeting? Yes, I gave them your salam. I did say assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum means may salam or salamati be on you. I'll explain that to you in a minute what it is. Then there is a more expanded version of it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi. May salam and rahmat be on you. And there's a third version of it. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I think there's another fourth version of it. And may barakah be on you. What does salam mean? Rahmat mean? Barakah mean? Let's start with barakah. Barakah means abundance, growth, plentifulness, like compounding growth. That's barakah. What is rahmat? Mercy. Kindness of God be upon you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Barakatuhu is abundance, rahmat is mercy, but let's first come to salam. Assalamu alaikum. May salam be upon you. What does salam mean? A lot of people translate it as peace. The word salam and Islam or assalam, all these came from an Arabic root. SLM in English, or Romanized, or in Arabic, it's Sin Lam Mim, the equivalent English letters of which are SLM. So I'm going to use English letters, SLM. In Arabic, what happens is that there are consonantal roots to words. There are vowels, A, E, I, O, U, and the non-vowel words. For those who don't know, because there are lots of people, I don't know who's watching and what level they're at. And the non-vowels are called consonants. B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N. O is a vowel, right? P, Q, R, S, T, U is a vowel. B, W, X, Y, Z. So these are consonants. And combinations of 3 or 4 consonants, which are called like triconsonantal and even sometimes biconsonantal, mostly triconsonantal, like three consonants gathered together. Sometimes rarer are like two consonants, and also rare are like four consonants, but mostly triconsonantal roots. These letters get together and they form like a root word from which branch out many meanings. So SLM, or the Arabic Sin Lam Mim, is a root. And what it really means is whole. Whole. WHOLE, whole. All of it. Collective. Everything. And integrated. Integrated. Put together. All at once. Here and now. Okay. So what I do is that I look into more meanings than the ones that have been traditionally identified. And I connect them to some of the modern and contemporary spiritual personal development thematics and use my words to bring presencing, plus to resolve an issue in the moment. So, what does salam means? All of it, here, now, right now. All of you. I literally wish I taught this class 15 years earlier. Anyway, Assalamu alaikum means not what people say, may peace be upon you. Peace is a byproduct or an outcome of what is actually being said. It is what is being said is that may wholeness be upon you. May you be intact. May you be present in the here and now. May you be here. May all of you be here at once, and may all of you heal and be collected and put together. May you be safe. May you be intact. May there be no lost soul parts. May there be no injuries. May, if there are injuries, they be healed. Hold on, let me take away this comment things off the screen. I don't like them. I don't know how to put them away. How do we do that? Oh, all right. They're not going to go away. Delete comment. Hold on. Yeah, okay. So, I'm going to do a screen recording of it, okay? Yeah, so what does salam mean? Whole, integrated, all at once, in the here and now, present, collected. If you look at it in terms of psychology, it means all parts of you. May they be present at once, may they be together, may they not be fighting, may they be whole, at peace with each other. So peace is like it's the secondary byproduct of salam, being present, being whole, being not at war with yourself, with parts of you. And then you, in the Islamic perspective, goes from the self to the universe, like far corners. Your community is you, is like the first, like you is the individual. But like a broadcasting pole, self is connected to, in the outer circle, the family, and then the neighborhood, then the community, then your village, and then your city, whatever it is, and then to the grid work of humanity, and then humanity's consciousness connects to like the whole around us as far as it can go, depending upon what kind of individual you are, what is your intellect, What is your spiritual depth? What is the depth of your contemplation? The modern human beings tend to sort of, hold on, I wanted to take a screen recording. Modern human beings want to know the universe through extending themselves out with the help of technology. I've got a satellite here, I got this and that, we're sending rockets. Of course, that can't go too far. When I was a kid, I was frustrated by the depths of the universe. I was like, oh, it's too far. I wish I could see it. There is another and ancient method which is to reflect in yourself. Apparently, we can actually go inwards. What we've done is that we've relegated that to drugs or mania or depression, bipolar states, and the states of going in yourself, like when you descend into yourself. Oh my God, it's scary. We've called it mental illness, and this is why a lot of human beings have stress and mental illness issues now, because your soul is always going to call you inside, where you actually belong, actually, which is actual portal and the internet. Actually, we weren't supposed to have this projective internet that we have right now. We were supposed to have an internal internet, which we can descend into through collective remembrance and prayer, by the way. I've had a very, for your interest, I'll tell you, a very interesting time from around 2005 onwards when I did like practical exercises and meditations and giving up on my excessive contact with technology and like too much dependence on electronics and worldly sensations. I'll tell you, another world opened in me. It's been very hard to actually come out of that world. I kind of fail at this world. I don't know if it's good or bad, but that actual world also exists and it works. And please ignore this nonsense. It works. And that is actually the world that ancients have talked about. And we're actually supposed to be there. And we're actually supposed to master that. Human beings are trying to master computers, which is a form of entrapment. The real technology of transformation is prayer and remembrance of God. And you can actually enter a literal other dimension and do all the things that you're doing, for example, on the internet, but far faster and for free. Gosh, all sorts of things coming up on the screen. Far faster. Like you could actually go there and connect with the person that you want to connect to. The problem is that people don't know how to enter that realm, and then when they do, how to stabilize themselves, and then when they do, how to behave themselves and how not to take advantage of the realm. Forget about that realm. In this realm, two people are like, I see, I don't know how many adverts on my Facebook about how to control people's mind, how to influence them. Like, ever since I was a kid, I particularly was turned off from the book, How to Influence People and Build Friends. I was like, why do you need to? But now I've actually realized that there are some people who have got what I would call pathological problems. Like, they're missing that component. I wouldn't even call that pathology. It's only pathology from your point of view that I tell myself. As you grow more complex and more understanding, you realize, well, it's you who thinks it's a pathology, but it's a pathology to you. You are pathological to somebody else. Like you got something missing and they got something missing. And that is kind of what are the interesting like applications and interpretations of the word is salam. They, all of us have got something missing. But then there is another Muslim rule that says, or idea that says, you are each other's medicine. Like what I'm missing is actually found in somebody else, but I haven't found it because we're not talking to each other. We're like, oh, you are a different race. I'm not going to talk to you. Oh, you are a man or a woman. You are too poor. You're too rich. You're too traumatized. You're too privileged. We all are talking about each other. If you start looking at the internet conversations right now, because there's literally now everybody on the internet, right? Rich, poor, all sorts of genders and pronouns and privileges and classes and everybody. Like previously, internet was not equally populated, right? There were people of certain class or region or standard. Like now, when everybody's here, it's so interesting that everybody's calling everybody else out. And I think this has got to be on the day on the internet where everybody says, like, stop it! We are all here. Hello, children of God. Hello, kids of Adam and Eve, according to Muslim tradition. Hello, everybody. And since we all got something to say about each other, can we just quit? Like, can we not say things? Because whatever I have to say, there's an equal and opposite of that on the other side, and they're valid and I'm valid. So, like, there's something going on here. You're valid and I'm valid, and this person's valid, that person's valid. If you really think about it, oops, then we have to have a way of cooperating with each other and also of talking in a way that doesn't really hurt or offend the other. My year started here in Pakistan, my internet year, witnessing a kerfuffle in the industry that I was trying to be a part of, but wasn't really getting well along with it. It just didn't feel like I was a fuller part of it, maybe because I didn't have an offering ready. Once I have an offering ready, I can go back there and I say, oh, this is the problem that I solve. And I solve a problem for potentially all of you. Definitely those who want to take up my offering, because not everybody would want it. But uh, my offering is literally like taking a look at all of you, okay, and helping us resolve our differences. And the kerfuffle that we faced was like somebody said, I don't want to talk to people who said 2023 broke me. I'm not going to work with them. And then people took their message and started reposting them on their profiles. And this is where I saw that and hurt me. And I went and piled on that person. I was thinking different things. I said they shouldn't have said what they said. What they said was hurtful, but the one who carried that message to me is the one who carried that message to me. Shouldn't have propagated the way it did, but also what they said was not a very good thing. Eventually, now that I've seen it, it really hurts me because I was really trying to unalive myself in 2023, and yet I think I know that I'm a useful person. I've just not been activated and supported enough. 200,000% because of faults of my own or whatever I missed in trying to activate myself. So that thing got out of hand, and the original person who posted that is not admitting it. But I know from what I know, because I'm able to read people, they're like, "What the f have I done?" But they're not admitting it. They're like, "Yeah, people hate me. I'm supported. Yeah, whatever. I'm good. I'm fine." But they're like, "It's literally a trauma situation. I don't care, whatever." And I said to them, "You need help. I see you." They don't like it because they're so privileged. Multi-million dollars I've earned. I don't want to talk to people. So it's going to come back and bite you. And I offered them this masterclass. I said, come to it. And they're like, no, I don't need it. And somebody then said, how dare you offer it to them? I said, I'm sorry. I'm just being like a peasant, crudely and rudely saying, I've got a masterclass that I'm going to invite you to. It's not a paid masterclass and it's not a closed container or whatever. It's like an open thing to people. How dare you? I said, "Well, come on, yeah. Sometimes we can offer things to people just like that. I know it's not the most courteous thing. It's very peasantly. It's very like what I call Titanic's third floor or whatever, like the bottom piers or whatever. But sometimes we can give to somebody. It's like, you've got snot in your face. Here's a tissue. And let's be human and communal enough to do that because we're going to need that the more the world gets worse. And this person is securing themselves with millions of dollars. Good for them. One day that could be in danger. And that day could come soon upon us. I'm not wishing it upon them. I would rather not have it upon me. I think I'm also escaping. Actually, I am. Not, no, I don't think so. I actually am trying to escape this whole human samsara by saying, I want to stand out of it. I wish I have privilege. Like, I have temporary privilege. I need to get down to working with my fellow humans, especially with billions of literally underprivileged human beings coming online, becoming part of the grid. They're not going to hand things easy to us. They own the lands, they own food supplies, they're the front line laborers. Wait until they figure out Madam is not going to be able to live without us if we withhold our services from them. This is something that I've been trying to whisper to people, privileged people, since 2008. I'm like middle class. Like I don't have like a lot of privilege. I mean, I'm privileged to billions of like absolute dirt poor, but otherwise I'm actually pretty much in actual terms, not privileged, because privileged would be the one who has health, the one who's able to take actions and decisions, the one who's heard, the one who has the ability to enact things and get things done. As a Pakistani Muslim woman and one who is being constantly preyed upon and is psychologically very weak, like, I'm not the flower that I look like I am. Right? When I speak English, there are a lot of people in the world, oh, you speak English, you're really privileged. Okay, my English doesn't lay golden eggs at night that I can sell in the morning. I still have to work. And if I'm not able to work, well, I'm not going to earn. And if I'm earning, am I safe? Like, my family has been robbed at gunpoint several times. I've been looted. I've been taken from. There are poor people who have scammed me out of my money. And they always scam and do. Because I haven't been taught scams and counter scams. I've been this posh, polite woman that I was raised to be. Right? So, my point is that we have all sorts of people on the internet right now. And we've got to behave with each other in certain kind of ways. Islam defines some of those ways. Many other good faiths did. The most comprehensive definer of the code is Islam. One of the meanings of the word Islam is like completed, finished. Latest version, done, ended, now, finished. That's it. That's the good. So the Muslim greeting is like Assalamu alaikum. May wholeness be upon you. And the Muslim faith is called Islam. Literally means complete or completed. Now here it's done. God sent the transmission many times over human history. Those transmissions became religions, and all those transmissions were made by the same God. Now, there are some false transmissions which actually did not come from God. It came from human beings, devils. And there are transmissions that God made, and then they were distorted by devils and demons and priests and people with personal interest, or they got misunderstood, lost in transmission or translation or whatever. So God sent Islam. And it is supposed to be repeated over and over again. Like, people are supposed to keep repeating it, otherwise it gets lost. So human beings are supposed to keep on activating it and keep on remembering God. That's the whole task. We remember God each time we name God and talk about God and then enact God. I am, by the way, developing a model talking about all of that. How do we enact God in the various realms and fields of our life? Okay, so I'm going to stop the screen recording and get on with the rest of transmission, but I wanted to take this chunk out, so let me switch this off. Hold on. Woo-ha! The recording would be bad because I'd be echoing. Okay, anyway. Let me record again. Who can stop me? Okay, hold on. I'm talking to myself to the transmission. All right. So, Islam means the word Islam, salam, comes from the Arabic root word, consonantal, triconsonantal, SLM, Sin Lam Mim. SLM is the English version of Sin Lam Mim. Means whole, all of it, complete. When we say the greeting, Assalamu alaikum, means wholeness be upon you. May you be all put together. May you be in one place. May you be uninjured. May you be healed. May you be present. May you be compact. May there be no entity penetrations in you. May there be nothing bothering you, sitting inside you. Because if it were, your parts would not come together. It's like, God forbid, if there's like a, I don't know, like a thing, I don't want to even name things. Like if there's a thorn that penetrates your flesh, there's a hole, and your flesh isn't joined with flesh anymore. There's a thorn in there. So when we say salam, it means the whole flesh comes together, and it cannot come together when there's a hostile penetration, hurt, injury, psychic injury, insult, pain, disease inside. I don't like it. Hold on. Is it even recording? I'm trying to record what I'm saying. Okay, here we go. Screen recording. Once again, Salam means holiness be upon you. I've made the point again and again. I think I'm going to irritate my audience, so I'm going to switch the screen recording off. Hold on. Take the slice out later from the video and get on with it. So, what does it mean? May you, the parts of you, come together. May your family come together. May your society come together. May all of you be here all at once. Assalamu alaikum. Become present. The moment, by the way, we say salam, we gather the other person's being in front of us. And the answer to that greeting is wa alaikum assalam. May holiness be upon you too. The longer version of it, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi. And an even longer version is wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. And as I've said, barakatuhu means abundance, like plentiful, and mercy. Like the first thing is salam, rahmat, and barakat. Barakat means abundance, rahmat means mercy, salam means whole of you. Look at the beauty of it. May all of you be here all at once, and then may God's mercy be on it. Not justice, not anger. Mercy be on it. First, let's get it all together, and then may God be kind to it, make it better. Like if you've done something wrong, or if something wrong is done to you, or you're the victim of something, may God's mercy be upon you. Like whatever might be the source of your ailment, you or the other, may God's mercy be upon you. May God be kind to you. Let's clean this out, whatever we have gathered. And then they may be barakat, then it grow. First, let's gather it, then let God cleanse it in mercy, with His mercy, just like do good things to it, to your essence, and then barakat. It's not like assalamu alaikum wa barakatuh, whatever. No. Because if we got barakat and abundance, like multiplicity, before God has cleansed it up, we could be propagating real bad seed, or troubled seed, or damage, or hurt, and you say, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And there's like, I think another longer version of it. I'm not a great Muslim, so I stop right here. I'm 3 out of 4. 70%, 5%. I think this is like a fourth word. I go as far as I can. That's it. That's safe. That's good practice. May you gather. May God be kind to you. And then may you propagate. Whole code to it if you think about it. If you start propagating before you are healed, you could make a lot of mess. Like that example that I talked about. Start propagating your ideas when you're an influencer and leader, or when you're somehow being read. Trouble. I have been a propagator and the victim and victimizer of it, but in unhealed states, I went online and I said things I shouldn't have. I was actually led by this cluster cult of women. There is a particular gangster stream amongst online women which says, start abusing everybody when you're mad. They call it like dark goddess or whatever. I mean, it would be really nice if everybody was on board with that code. Like, oh, she's in that state. She's ovulating on the internet. Literally. So the women are like, if we're mad, we just go online, just insult and do whatever it is that we want to do. I think they're now checking themselves after becoming unsafe with pushback on the internet, because the internet is all people. It's street, as I say. You look up to the street and start shouting. People may be kind and polite for a while. Just depends upon what kind of internet cluster you're with, what region you're in, What kind of people have you got in your digital cluster, whom you're being exposed to through the algorithms? Who knows where the algorithms are delivering you and taking you to? Best practice, be conservative in your speech. Be contained. If you have things going on, do them in a safe space, or at least do them in the offline world where you could sort of be contained, hopefully, through some geographical, physical limitation. Even then, in the physical world, if you say the wrong thing in the middle of the bazaar or something, people are going to remember it for like forever. You could actually be speaking at a convention and say to people, oh. But if there's so much of our subconscious speaking that needs to be looked at. This is what I say to people. Looking at all these internet conflicts, Salam also means looking at different sides of it, at least from what I call the governors or guardian side. Like if they're guardians of the system, they're critics or whatever, people who, for example, there are people who look at the internet discourse culture. I said, instead of just criticizing and saying, oh, here are women go back to you again, could you look at it again? Like, why are they going back to you? Like, what is going on? And potentially help them. Eventually, they're going to help themselves. They have to. But could there be somebody who actually has at least some information about why people are going this way, or at least identify that, oh, yeah, there is a cluster of women who does that? I would love to look at information, oh, here on the internet today, this phenomena has been observed, and then some kind of introspection into what's happening and why, without judging it. Oh my God, I don't like it. Or it's like, oh, I really got to say what I got to say. Oh, people hate me, and I, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to say what I'm going to say. Are you irrevocably endangering and hurting yourself and taking off the community? And are you willing to take that risk? And is that great? I don't know. You want to lose people's love and you say it's fine, okay. Good for you. I've done that myself, by the way. 200,000 times worse than I saw anybody else ever doing it. I mean, people have done worse, but then they had larger circles, and they blew up like, I don't know, 60% of their circle, and 60% of their circle was bigger than 100% of mine. But I've blown up 200%. In terms of percentage only, done far worse. Confession. All these things, how does that even relate to Salam? Well, how human beings interact with each other, and literally Salam is a greeting that people say to each other, right? So it's not just the name of God, it's not the name of concept, it's how people greet each other when they talk to each other, Muslims, or people who might be willing to use Muslim greetings. Salam, Assalamu alaikum, how do you do? Why do we say that? If we bring intentionality and knowledge to it and think when we're speaking, what do we mean? Like there are people who hate each other, mean to each other. Assalamu alaikum. Do you really mean it? I've talked to people who are hurting me like Assalamu alaikum. Do you really mean it, bro? I'm like, yeah, wa alaikum assalam. Do I really mean it? Do I really present myself and say Assalamu alaikum? I really wish good things happen to you. And do you mean the same? Like, I wish good things happen to you as well. No, we should read. This is a code we exchange. Assalamu alaikum. By the way, it works at some subliminal level, and some God's grace goes with it. God promises. But at the end of it, God hands things back to human intention. Like, if you're really going to draw guns out at each other and shoot each other, I don't know if I can say that in a Facebook Live or not, and hurt each other, God's not going to stop you. God's going to let you play the game and then enjoy the outcomes, whatever they are. Because God handed this game to human beings with the codes. with the playing parts and the instructions. Hold on. And human beings are like, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to us? Like God literally gave everything to us, demonstrated by the fact that when people want to do evil, they're always resourceful. They're doing it. They're well connected. They're organized. What's the lesson for the good folks? Why aren't you organized? Why aren't you participating? Why aren't you stepping up like these people say, okay, let's gather and let's start exploiting humanity? What about you? Why don't you say, let's gather and let's start cleaning up the cluster Fs that we have going on in humanity? By the way, in this day and age, a lot of human beings are actually doing that. It's happening, it's taking place. The generation Z, X, or whatever these are, they're very likely to just do it. And if they could be looking at the problems because my generation has finally become an older generation or middle-aged generation. We were kids once, youthful people once, looking at our elders like, what's their problem? Why are they always talking about sickness and deal? Like, what is going on? Like, maybe they saw some, if not a pandemic, then they saw some flu viral spreading and wars and stuff. But definitely my parents saw that. They saw wars, which I thankfully haven't, like not proximity, almost war, threats of war, threats of really epic wars. And then we saw it happening at a distance. And we've been seeing genocide, a total Holocaust, live in front of us. We're not allowed to call it the Holocaust because that's branded and that's taken. I'm so politically incorrect. I want to be open. I want to talk. I want to let all parts of me speak. That's the energy of Salaam. Become all of you present, but not like a possessed demon, hopefully. But I'm in favor of everything becoming present. Just in the right space, in front of the right people. Like if you're going to go ahead and traumatize already traumatized people on the internet who are not participating in the systems of oppression, you are whacking their nervous systems down. Islam has instructions about these things. Do not spread discouraging, horrific stuff. How do we bring awareness? Well, what do you have governance for? What do you have? Like, don't you have town hall meetings? Oh, you don't. What were you doing? Or aren't you active citizen participating in things? Oh, you were not proactively healing the human society, which is why you have problems right now. Oh, you have people who are trafficking kids. Well, where's your watchfulness? You don't have it, do you? What are you doing? What is keeping you busy? How are your neighbors falling apart? That wouldn't happen in a society that looked after its citizens. It's literal social science. It's maths. It's how the maths of society maths. If each person is aware and cognizant of the rights of, in Islam it says 40 houses to your left, 40 houses to your right. You're responsible for that. They keep an eye on them. Responsible doesn't mean you feed all of them or you give jobs to all of them, but you might behave in ways that facilitations might land for them. Opportunities may land for them. Like if a person comes and you say, it probably doesn't happen in developed societies, but or big cities, but over here a post guy could come and say, like some parcel delivery, pizza delivery guy could come and say, do you know where Mr. X's house is? Like, well, I don't know. But after 40 houses on the left, 40 houses on the right, you should have known your neighbor's like, yeah, Joseph lives in that house. Yeah, the house, yeah. Sure. Blue gate. Get it. Look this way, look that way. Whose dog is it on the street wandering? Whose kid is out? Hold on. Hold on. Let me put my things. under lock and key. I'm gonna take you to your mom. I'm responsible for 40 houses on the left, 40 houses on the right. If the houses are too big, I don't know. And then obviously there's reasonable biological design to it. If you're living in this big farmlands or whatever, adjust accordingly. They would have their own protocols. I'm in the Himalayas. It's very cold here in certain places. Two houses that way and this way would be like far enough and really cold. Oh, yeah. So we're talking about personal healing by Salaam. It means all parts of your body becoming present, but also the society becoming present. We're becoming present for each other. We're watching over each other. We're caring for each other. That is a protocol that is implied by Islam, Salam. May wholeness be upon you. May intactness be upon you. May people be watching over each other. May you be watching over others. I'm actually becoming very nostalgic thinking about life in Himalayan villages that I've been living in. I fell out of favor with them because they were doing a lot of things that were like literally nasty. And then I got so scared I started writing about that, which I may or may not have written, or I don't know, whatever. But it was too dramatic and traumatic. At first, for a really long time, I tried not to talk about those things. But they became over my threshold of um being able to live with the news of what was happening. Really hardcore stuff. Trafficking, incest, swinging culture, drugs, and stuff. That was the dark side of what they were doing. But they were structuring, the way they structured the society was really good. Like, they were very particular about the structure, about following the season and the traditions. I kind of got mad by the way. I was like, this is hypocritical because you were following this, you were building a reputation based on that. Everybody's like, these are amazing people. But you're not very good in actuality. Like the colors between the lines are not right. You've got the diagram of an apple, a line diagram of an apple, but in the middle, if you've painted blue and purple, that's not what an apple is. It's got to be red and green. What you got going here in your villages, the structuring of which is really good, really fine. What you've got going is true evil. But when I'm in appreciative moods and I tell them, your structuring is really good. And if only you did the right things, you'd be like role model for the world. To the world, they do present themselves as role models. Don't tell them what they actually do. So I've got to make these confessions because I'm gonna keep it real. And when we sometimes present these societies as role models, which I kind of want to do, I do also want to keep it real by saying, but what they have really going on here is not right. And to me, that is also one of the interpretations of Salam when you look at the whole. A lot of people are not on board with this, but I am. However, the modes and methods of dispersion of this critical info do not have to be the same as when we talk about the better parts of the society. I'm I'm getting sleepy for some reason. I'm feeling so content. It's late here. Should probably get to sleep. I um, haven't been sleeping in a long time. But when we do the zikr of Allah, when we name the names of Allah, it often brings a lot of people a lot of contented sleep because it finally heals their heads and psyches. Things start coming together, tension gets released, and really, some people might get hyper excited. Very often, they feel very hungry because a lot of disease and neediness leaves their body, and then they get really hungry for new food. So, better get nice, good, fresh, happy, healthy, joyful food, permissible as it's called in Islam, clean food. In Islam, the criteria for food is that it should be halal, which is like permissible, legal, right, obtained with the name of God, and tayyib. Tayyib means clean, and that in turn has a lot of repetitions, interpretation. Sorry, what does clean mean? To me, it means like literally physically clean, and then inwardly clean, like no pesticides or harmful chemicals, and then the methods of obtaining it should also be clean. Maybe clean of cruelty, maybe clean of poor labor wages. I could go on and on. So, I am starting a set of teachings under the umbrella of Salaam and coming up with a matrix in which I will teach you various dimensions of application of Salam, the whole concept of salamati, of wholeness, of being gathered, of being healed, of being present. What are the realms that you should be looking at? And how do the tensions between these realms, the paradoxes work? How, for example, you're very good spiritually, but not very skilled socially. How does it work out? And how God really meant it to be this way? Like some people are very good spiritually, but not very present in the physical social world. And then some people are very active, but not spiritually good. And God kept it this way so we could sort of build out a narrative, then get from one point A to B until like it's time for one person, two-person to exit the world theater and drama. It's actually like an ongoing drama. It's going to keep on going on. It's like some kind of station that we come at, and then people come and go and leave. And then there are souls' individual journeys. There are souls which are not going to come back to this, what's called samsara, the ongoingness. They're just going to achieve their nirvana, they achieve their enlightenment, and then go off and, meet the Lord. And then there are souls which will be brought again and again. Might not enjoy it, and might. This is how it's going to go on. So we could get into the depths of that. So I'm going to cap the class here. It was supposed to go on for 1.5 hours, but we were supposed to start at 9 and end at 10:30. It's 10:37 right now. I started kind of 9:30, and I'm going to cap it right now. I've said quite a few dense things, and I've said quite enough, but I will keep on carrying on these teachings and then atomize them so that we can get down to smaller subjects and then begin talking about the applications of Salam. I don't see anybody logged in right now, but one day people will come. Inshallah, God willing. If God thinks I'm offering any value, that'll be great. At least I'm going to speak. I'm getting sleepy, really. Didn't mean to, didn't intend to, and it's just feeling really calm and comfortable. I don't actually sleep at this time. I sleep at really late hours. Feeling contented. I'm feeling blessed. So I'm going to post this live in my group, Blessed, also, where you can watch it. And then on Zoom someday, I'm going to do a masterclass and talk about the applications of these concepts. But this work is kind of gross. I've not seen this work happening, not anywhere in my lifetime. There are people who talk about it. There are Spiritual teachers have talked about it, but I don't know if they brought it down and really matched it to people's projects. I've not seen this happening in contemporary world. Well, maybe spiritual teachers do it, but ordinary people need to start doing this too. Outside of really intense spiritual circles like Muslims and people who want to learn from Muslims really need to implement it. Like, what do I mean by salam? If people really become intentional, the first thing that they do, become intentional with salam. I really mean it. I want you to be whole. I want you to be present. I want you to be good. I want you to be without injury. I really wish, we could do like an exercise. So, what if we did an intentional exercise in salam saying, I really mean this intentionally. Assalamu alaikum. And then translate it in our language, in this case, English. I want you to be whole. I want you to be present. I want you to be healed. I want you to be fully here. I want injuries to leave you. I want you to be still and calm within yourself. I wish that for you. It might not happen immediately. I'm not going to be able to saying, do it for me. I'm wishing it for you. You see, concepts of space and time don't really matter in the spiritual dimension. It's our wishes and our intention that matters. Therefore, there are people who mean things so deeply that they're actually able to make the addressee become absolutely present and healed and whole, like within seconds. Couldn't record that. We should be doing these exercises. I will make this exercise. Mental note. I want you to be whole. I want you to be integrated. I want you to be healed. I want you to be without injury. I'm not making a map of when it should happen. Could happen within seconds, could take years, right? Now, as an aside, there are times when the person saying that needs to compel the audience, like, I want you to be present now because you are at risk. How does that authority come? Where does that authority come from? Is another discussion that we can get into. And sometimes people are literally sent by God. God says, like, you got to say to those people, you might not be related to them, you might not be their boss, you might not be their neighbor. In fact, there are like esoterically inclined beings who will just appear somewhere in a public square and say, excuse me, I want you to be okay. And then there are people beaming in from other parts of the world these days. There's a genocide going on in Gaza, for example, and people could be beaming in from the rest of the world, like, I want you to be good, I want you to be whole. And it's not offensive. Now, there's a whole culture of people being really offended. Some of them are right. Like, it's really hurting them, and it's ableist to say this to them. And then there are gratuitously offended, woke folks who need a correction. Like, what the heck are you talking about? You don't want somebody to wish that things are whole. You are self indulgent narcissists, and you need to be taken off the conversation table or fixed. And they are being fixed, and that's great. Because we can't have these annoying little wimpy little rats screaming, I don't want to be okay because I don't want anybody to make me okay. Okay, really get off the table. Sorry. Got emotional. I'm sorry. Get off the table. Like, you don't get to talk. You don't get to decide things. Because there are things that are sustainable and healthy for human beings, and there are things that are not. Being integrated and whole. Excuse me. I'm having some trouble speaking, by the way. I was in a violent incident where somebody broke my teeth some years ago. they dislodged them and then they fell out later. It's just become a very traumatic incident for me, and I've got to hold myself together by. I think I of all the people need the name of God. When we call upon God with the name Salam, we say Ya Salamu. Ya means oh, like really calling upon God. Oh beloved, like oh Salamu. Oh here, listen to me. Oh Salamu, Ya Salamu. Listen, please. Make me whole. But one person screaming for the wholeness might or might not be enough, depends upon what kind of spiritual authority do they have. Eventually, human beings need to have a grid work of people who remember. See, again, Salam is literally Islamic Muslim greeting. Muslims are supposed to meet each other. Billions of Muslims say to each other, Assalamu alaikum, but then really mean it and back it up with action. If I want you to be present, if I want you to be whole, uninjured, what am I doing in this conversation and in my transaction? If I say Salaam Alaikum, I'm forfeiting your right to live, I don't mean it. I need to implement it on myself and live in it within the transaction, the action that is taking place. I really want you to be whole, present, uninjured, unendangered by me, unthreatened by me, unafflicted by me, unhurt by me. I'm implementing the code on myself, and I'm actually giving myself a code as well. Like it's a contract, it's a promise. I'm not asking you to be whole. Maybe I'm. If one way of looking at it is like, because I want you to be whole, I've got to operate myself in ways which will keep you whole. Because the self is transformed by the other, is transformed by the self, is transformed by the other in this ongoing cyclic cycle. And they're human beings who are able to stand outside of the self into the other, into the self, keep on doing this journey, of course, eventually returning to the self. And then there are those who are lost into the other. Muslim, esoteric, spiritual teachings go a lot into that. And then there are poetries upon poetries written about, like, I don't know who I was. Like, was I myself or was I the other? I've had such a relationship with the editor, actually. I was a writer and the editor. And to the point where when we started reading the other person's email, we were like, did I write this? Or then when we were reading our own mail in the conversations, like, did you write this? Did I write this? Like, and then look at the names, like, oh, you wrote it. I thought it was mine. And I was looking at my mail, I was like, must be you, whatever. Like, and when we were together, like, I can't even tell which one am I. Like, I thought I was you, and they were like, I thought it was you. I was like, for some few minutes there, I had no idea, like, who was who. And we were talking to each other. It was like co-channeling, like, channeling together. Like, who was who? A huge, very nice, positive enmeshment came out of it, like, whoa. The Muslim sage and poet Mawlana Rubi has written about the same thing in relation to his teacher, Shams. People have called that an affair. It wasn't an affair, but it was like an affair of the spiritual kind. Like, they got enmeshed in each other. Like, don't know who's who. It happens that ideas conference, like TED conference too. I'm sure you go there like, oh my God, this person's like talking this genius thing. I don't know. They were talking about these AI algorithms, and I had the same idea. The energy field, in this case, the intellectual field combined so much, and people are downloading the same thing at the same point. Like, wow, this is what these conferences are about. When true healthy enmeshment happens, like, oh, enmeshment exists because it is supposed to happen. There's a healthy divine enmeshment where people get into this ecstatic dance or conversation together and all of them download the same thing at once, and then you've got to go your own separate ways. And one day humanity will be beating as one heartbeat. Fish do that. Starlings do that. Then they go their own way too. Because that's just how God designed it. Like, okay, in the end, individual comes. Millions of starlings come. God, this is what we experienced. But when you were in that murmuration flying together, how was it? How did you feel? Yeah. Couples do that in lovemaking. All right, folks, this is what I'm going to leave you at. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May you be whole. May God's mercy be upon you. May you grow and have abundance. And may there be multiplicities to your gathered and loved by God's self. Amen. Jazakallah, which means may God bless you, stay blessed. Thank you for joining or not joining me, but if you're watching it now, thank you so much, and I appreciate you came to the far end of this meandering talk. And I will talk more about this, break this down into certain thematics, because these talks turn into very heavy downloads for me. And I become ecstatically overcome. My kids waiting for me at dinner, late dinner, and I'll leave you blessed. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillahir. Let's breathe together before we leave. May the blessings of this talk come to you. May this message reach far and wide to the right audience who are ready to receive it. May my sins be forgiven. May anything ill or wrong that I said just not propagate. May all good that I transmitted or said goes far and wide and deep. Amen. Jazakallah. Shukriya and thank you.